And good morning, everybody. Welcome to our first November construction planning meeting, but for November 2nd. And usually these meetings last about 15 minutes, but a good opportunity to get some updates on the current road construction work that's underway, but also allow folks that are on the call the opportunity to ask questions about the projects or share with us information about other items or activities we should be cognizant of in the downtown area. So I think we'll start with city engineering today. So John, would you be able to give us any updates on your projects?
Yeah, good morning, everybody. I'll start off with Salina Street. Paving is complete on Salina Street all the way to Butternut. So that the paving is done. Depending on the weather, Thursday, Friday, we plan to pave the last section of State Street up to James. So that will be all the paving on State and Salina will be complete. There will be some minor punch list paving on State Street. There's some ponding that has to get rectified. So we're reviewing that. There's also a repair from a water department cut down near Cortland on Salina that also has to get complete, but the major paving operations are done. Striping still has to be complete. Anybody who's driven on Salina Street up to Adams will notice the green bike lanes, some of those other treatments. That same design has to extend all the way up through the project, all the way to Butternut Street. The epoxy paint is very temperature sensitive. So we're still waiting for a schedule for the permanent striping. It may be a case that we're going to have to go with water-based temporary striping for the winter, and then come back in the spring and do the permanent striping, adding in the green elements and also the Duratherm crosswalks, which are the imprinted crosswalks.
He's the can guy.
So that has to get completed. Same on State Street. That doesn't get green bike lanes, but the permanent striping is in a similar situation to be evaluated based on the weather, but potentially they could be just temporary striping, which would be the center line, crosswalk, stop bars, some symbology, just the main traffic control elements get done. Then the last real item is the brick snow shelf restoration. That has to get scheduled, start putting those bricks back in behind the curb. It's predominantly from West Onondaga up to Clinton Square. Have to get that scheduled, get that work underway. At the bus stops, we are going to remove the brick pavers. We're going to pour colored concrete there, dark gray, just because with people walking there, you really shouldn't be walking on some of those bricks. They're in pretty bad condition. So the 4 areas where we pour the concrete bus stops, we'll be pouring, and the brick snow shelf there, colored concrete, moving the bricks just so that it's a smoother walking surface for people who are waiting to get on the bus or when they get on the bus. That's it for State and Salina Street. Thank you.
Quick question on the bricks, John, before we move on to Mirza. Do those bricks that are not going back in the ground, do they get sent off to like the DPW to be able to use for repairs when needed for downtown?
Yeah, we will salvage those. Unfortunately, a lot of the bricks, when we are taking them up, they're falling apart. They are in pretty bad condition. We're hoping that some of the bricks we remove for the bus pad areas, that they'll provide some surplus material that we can use in the other areas. So that, again, trying to find a lead time on some of these bricks. We've been told it could be 6 months, even if they're available. So just the condition of the brick downtown, I mean, they were put back in the 90s. They're starting to show their age. So, but we will salvage what we can and have DPW store it.
Thank you.
Is now the time to ask about other sidewalk work, or is that coming down later?
Why don't we, we'll also let Mirza, because he also manages a number of the streets in downtown. And so I think between John and Mirza updates following that would be a good time.
Thanks, Mark.
Yep. Mirza.
Good morning, everyone. So we're paving this week Clinton Street, Jefferson, between Clinton and Salina, and Warren Street. So it's starting right now at Clinton Street at Clinton Square, and it's going down south towards Jefferson. We're also pouring concrete for sidewalk and ADA corners along Montgomery. That's going to be Thursday and Friday. Next week, we're paving the first layer of asphalt behind the course along Montgomery Street, pretty much from Erie Boulevard to Adams Street, and Jefferson, rest of Jefferson from Salina to Montgomery. Pretty much for next 3 weeks, we'll be paving in downtown. But after this week, Clinton Street, that first block of Jefferson and Warren Street will be done with final course of asphalt, and we will be done in that area. We only have to do striping and resetting bricks in some of the areas that we didn't do yet. But after this week, the main concentration will be Montgomery and the rest of Jefferson from Salina to Montgomery, pretty much. That's it. Any questions? Let me know.
Doug, did you have
So
questions
yeah,
about sidewalks?
so sidewalk on Montgomery is when?
It's going to be Thursday and Friday.
On the street itself, not just at the corners.
Well, depends on how much they order, but they're gonna start. I don't know where are you located?
St. Paul's. So it would be 310.
Okay, so
There's
I'll
two,
see-
there's,
I'll
there's,
see-
there's
I'll-
like 2 spots where the prior pads were taken out and are open.
okay, I'll talk to them to pour it this week if they didn't have it already planned.
Thanks.
So it's going to be this Thursday or Friday,
Right.
weather
Thanks.
permitting.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
So just one clarification. You're talking about concrete sidewalk.
Yes, I am.
So was that sidewalk removed by National Grid or the water departments? Or was
I
it-
don't know who took
You
it
don't
out.
know, but that's what you're talking about, two areas of concrete sidewalk.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
There was also an area of concrete sidewalk that had been altered due to the water department work right outside of like Recess Coffee and Ameriprise Financials, just right across from City Hall.
Yeah, that's part of our project. We're replacing sidewalk and brick pavers in that area. I don't know the schedule for that. It's probably not gonna be this week, but I'll find out.
Can we have a scheduled date on when the paving is gonna be done on Montgomery between Madison and Adams? Just because we're starting to have event loads, and I'm just trying to time this with events load-ins.
Well, I really don't know the exact date. It's going to be done by end of November, but really when the final restoration will be done, I have to talk to the contractor. I mean, we'll try our best to expedite the work in that area. Once we do the first layer of binder, we have to adjust all the manhole covers, which will take about a week. And then scheduling and weather dependent, we should be done before Thanksgiving. But it all depends on the weather and all the other utilities that have to adjust their manhole covers.
Mirza, is there a way you can send me your email address so I can send you a list of our events coming up in November, so there's no conflicts?
Sure. America, do you have his contact information or can you
I'll
send him?
connect both of you.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
And then Jim, I see your hand up as well.
Yeah, just a quick follow-up to Pete Casper's question there too. We have a heavy game schedule in November with 7. My question was really, is there anything I need to be on the lookout for? And I think as importantly, is anything you would like us to communicate through our social platforms for the entry for our games?
If you could send us your schedules and I'll forward to our contractor and we'll coordinate it to work.
Agreed.
Jim, I'll include your email as well with Pete's and Mirza's and Eric
Okay.
Ennis as well, just so that our conversation can happen. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. No, and thanks for putting these together. They're awesome.
I don't, is it Chris Squirman from National Grid is on as well? Are there updates from National Grid that you'd like to share?
Well, Mirza's saying that they're going to pave Montgomery and East Jefferson next to the cathedral. Makes me feel good because that means that all of our major gas work on those blocks is done. So that pretty much should wrap up all of the significant work that National Grid is doing this season. We may still have some minor restoration outside the curbs, concrete sidewalk, brick paving work in those areas, but a restoration contractor is on top of that. But other than that, we should be in the clear.
Great. And Eric, had you heard it all from our friends at the water department? If there's any updates they wanted to share?
Well, so I'll say this, I have requested for any additional updates beyond what we shared, even dating back to our last meeting. I know the water department has been moving forward efficiently with some of the work happening at Montgomery as well as Erie Boulevard and Water Street. So I think what I'll do, America, is I'll make sure I have an update. We can reflect that in the notes. And then if there's any new information or anything unexpectedly, we can make sure a notification gets shared with the group. But from my understanding is that, things have largely been wrapping up. The bulk of the work we've seen completed. Jefferson Street, completely done with all water repair, things like that.
Great. Are there any other questions for the city departments or National Grid or downtown committee? Okay. Well, thank you guys all so much. And then I will send that connection email following this meeting. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.